Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Veronica Suarez. I hold a PhD in agricultural and environmental chemistry, and today I am presenting our work on cover cropping in Mediterranean semi-arid systems across California. Our goal was to evaluate how cover crops influence soil carbon, greenhouse gas emissions, and soil health under real on-farm conditions. And why is this important? So, cover crops have been heavily promoted for carbon sequestration, but most of the research has been done in the Midwest, where the climate is very different from California. Our growers here farm under um, controlled irrigated systems like subsurface drip. There is a lot of intense soil disturbance. There's also hot, dry summers. We face salinity issues. Therefore, we wanted to test if cover crops behave the same here under the semi-arid climate. Therefore, we designed a study where we work across three on-farm trials from 2018 to 2020. And the sites were located in the San Joaquin Delta, where we planted a summer cowpea cover crop, uh, a site in Mendota, in Fresno County, where we planted a winter cover crop with mixed species, legumes and non-legumes. And then in Sutter County, um, where we planted a winter cover crop, which was a legume, and we planted vetch. So at all sites, we collected soil from 0 to 90 centimeters. We measured CO2 and M2O fluxes, and we evaluated multiple soil health indicators like salinity, infiltration, aggregate stability, um, pH, and others. And our goal was to understand the whole profile of the carbon dynamics and evaluate other soil health indicators. So here are some key results. Um, for the carbon stocks, we compare the total carbon on our last year of trial to the first year to kind of compare the difference of how much carbon got accumulated. At the Delta site, where we planted a summer cover crop, we actually caused 60 to 85 carbon loss in the topsoil, as you can see in figure 1A. And we attribute this to the repeated tillage needed to establish the cover crop and incorporate it into the soil. And the irrigation that was supplied to the cover crop during summer, which stimulated microbial respiration, causing accelerated carbon losses from the biomass. So this site challenged our assumption that more cover crops, which made more biomass inputs, would stabilize more carbon in the soil. And at this site, we actually observed the opposite. At the Mendota site, in figure 1C, we actually didn't see any carbon gains or changes in topsoil compared to the control, but the carbon actually increased below 30 centimeters. And there was a 30 to 60% carbon increase, likely due to rhizole deposition and the movement of dissolved organic carbon through the soil profile. And at this site, there was a clay-rich subsurface horizon that protected the carbon and accumulated carbon at this depth. This shows that when you are considering carbon stocks, you must account beyond 30 centimeters, otherwise, you could miss the whole story. And then at Sutter, which is a site that started already with a high carbon content around 2 to 3%, the carbon remained relatively stable during the whole trial. And at this site, we were worried about N2O emissions because this field was flood irrigated, and we were planting a legume cover crop, which meant a big nitrogen input. So as you can see in figure 2, when we consider the whole year, we actually found no significant differences between the cover crops and the control for any of our sites for nitrous oxide emissions. So thankfully, cover cropping did not increase nitrous oxide emissions. Even where carbon benefits were small, we saw powerful improvements to soil function. So, for example, at the delta side, we noticed that salinity was dropped substantially for the cover crop. Also, as you can see here in figure 3, the infiltration rate was improved for the cover crop treatment, helping water move through the soil profile. And these two benefits alone can justify cover cropping in this region that it's saline prone. Um, Another benefit we observed at the Mendota site was also improved infiltration, especially useful during storm events where the farmer used to struggle with waterlogging. So cover cropping helped to increase water infiltration, and it created a short benefit that was important for the farmer and justified cover cropping. And then at the Sutter side, the soil organic carbon was maintained and the soil function was also relatively stable throughout the whole project. So these findings reinforce that cover crops offer ecosystem services gains even when the carbon response is slow. So what does this mean? Overall, we learned that cover cropping in California is not one size fits all. There is a seasonal timing that you need to consider. The irrigation method also matters. The soil texture and the soil disturbance strongly determine the outcome of your management. Also, carbon sequestration may take many years, but you can see other soil health benefits that can happen quickly and that are very beneficial for the farmers. And overall decision making should prioritize site-specific strategies. In conclusion, cover crops in Mediterranean climates deliver meaningful soil health impacts, but carbon outcomes depend heavily on the context. Our work highlights the need for deeper sampling, longer-term trials, and grower-tailored strategies. With that, I will be willing to take any questions, and thank you so much for watching our poster presentation. Please feel free to contact us at the emails displayed on the screen. And finally, I would like to thank all of the farm advisors that participated in this project and made it possible, and the California Climate Investment Program that funded this project. Thank you so much.